Hey, Floyd here. So in a previous video, I said that you didn't have a water pump in your system. Okay, well, let's unpack that a little bit better than just that broad statement, because a lot of people call this pump. Matter of fact, if you Google your heart, they're going to say it's a pump. But if you go to the Mayo Clinic, they say it squeezes. It doesn't pump. Squeezes. Okay, well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about squeezing. Okay, here's your diaphragm. Okay, that's over all of your, I keep saying okay, I'm sorry about that. I'm working on it, but I'm not a professional speech person. You've probably figured that out. Your diaphragm, that's a muscle. That muscle, actually, when you breathe in and breathe out, that's what you're supposed to be using unless you're a shallow breather, and that's just not a good thing. And then you've probably heard this many times before. You've got to deep breathe. So when you inhale, you don't raise your chest and your shoulders, you bloat out your stomach. Okay, that's because you're supposed to be taking that diaphragm, which has the vagus artery going through it. But anyways, that's a muscle. I don't know why I told you that. It's a muscle, and you have to flex that. So you're going to push down on all these organs. Pushing down on this is motion, it's movement. These are being squeezed. Okay, let it go, push it down. Let it go, push it down. Deep breathing is the best way to get the most efficiency out of that diaphragm. But you have to develop that diaphragm like a musician or a singer. They hold that note. Look at that. I was raising my shoulders. You really got to concentrate on that belly. Well, anyway, it's like I was saying, musicians, singers, you know, if you're blowing on an instrument in a band, or if you're singing and holding that high note, you've got to have deep breathing. Well, doing that deep breathing is making motion on all of your organisms in your body there. And that's the squeeze. So what else is going to help your heart squeeze that circulation to get everything going? It's a muscle, that's right. Your heart's a muscle. You got all these muscles that are all squeezing if you move them, if you do some exercise. It doesn't have to be a vigorous exercise, but motion is motion. And that's what you're trying to do to get the circulation and get that blood going through. Your heart can't press that much fluid to get to all of these parts. Like gravity, you've got to, sure, the blood's going to go down pretty quick with the gravity assistance, but it's got to get back up. What's going to do that? Well, some people say, well, that's that calf muscle. Well, these aren't all independent. These are all hooked together. They all are squeezing and flexing as long as you are doing that. If you're sitting down and you're dormant, a lot of stuff isn't happening. The only thing working is that diaphragm and the heart. And the heart could use a little help moving the stuff around. So you got to do a little movement on your own part. That's very important for your circulation. Don't you like these things? They're really pretty accurate, and they're very cheap. Amazon, of course. But anyways, I am not a doctor. I've told you before, I'm a tradesman. I build stuff. I fix stuff. And I have always been curious about how things work. Usually I would tear something apart as a young man, and sometimes it went back together and other times it didn't. But I had a general idea of how it was working. And that's what I'm trying to share with you guys. You have to work on shallow breathing. Try to get that stomach to do the puffing up and get that diaphragm stronger than what it has been the way we're going. Where do I get my information on this stuff? Well, I'll give you an attachment to where I heard a lot of this stuff. Kind of excited me while I was getting information for this particular video in response to my water pump statement. And a lot of the stuff that I'm telling you now showed up on this guy's on his site. And so I'm going to put that down in the description so you get a little bit better. I mean, he's talking about Nobel Peace Prize people that are doctors, scientists, that has, you know, really gone for us. So anyways, that's what I was trying to get across, that our movement, just like with the ligament story I told before, the only way to get it lubricated is to move it, just like a hinge on a door. Get out there, get some fresh air, start moving around. You don't have to beat yourself. Great big muscles, most of those guys are only doing half a rep to begin with, which is not very good for those ligaments because they're not getting thoroughly lubricated. I'm going to do a shout out here, totally off, but the guy that used to do dirty jobs, Mike Rowe, he's got some scholarships for you younger people that if you're struggling and you need to get some help with what it is you're doing, he's not paying me to say this, but check him out too. I appreciate you all. And if you want to help me, well, like and share this, and I'll see you next time.